Hello everyone. Bear with me, I'm precariously propping my camera up. Hey! So, I am coming at you today from my treadmill. Let's get it going here. Sorry about the noise. I am coming at you with my tips for pre-op, or things you should know before surgery. And I can see that my camera setup is not working and I'm crooked. So I'm not leaning to one side, it's actually the camera. So yeah, deal with it. This is my second attempt. My first attempt was 38 minutes long and it kind of sucked. So I'm doing it over. So yeah. So I came up with a list of 10 things that I think you should know about or do pre or post-op to be successful after weight loss surgery. So, number one, it's what I'm doing right now. Exercise. And it's something that you should start before surgery, if you can. There's always something you can do, whether it's just walking, or exercising arms and legs in a sitting position, or whatever it is you can do, start doing it. Because you'll start forming that habit earlier. You'll be in better condition post-op. You'll be in better condition for surgery, and you'll just be ahead of the game. And so do some exercise every day. Whether it's 15 minutes twice a day or 30 minutes a day, whatever you can do. So that's number one. Number two. Oh my god. Again. Can't read. Oh! Choose the surgery that is right for you. Now what you hear a lot is people choosing the surgery based on how much weight they have to lose. That is, if you're, let's say, 200 pounds overweight, or 100 pounds overweight, maybe you should be looking at the RNY and the DS. And to some extent that's true, because you tend to lose a little bit faster, and you have a, bigger security blanket later on. So, but I'm here to tell you that I've watched a lot of videos, I followed a lot of people, and I can tell you that it doesn't really matter what surgery you can have. You can make any surgery work to lose all the weight that you have to lose. It might take longer with one versus the other. You may have to have more of an endurance race with something like a lap band versus a sprint with the DS. But all of them can work. So don't make that be your deciding factor of what surgery you want to have. It's important that you find one that works for your medical condition. Number one, stuff like, let's say you're like me and you have to take a lot of medication. That's what led me to the BSG, because that's the safest one in terms of preventing ulcers, and it's also not malabsorptive, so it's not going to fuss with the medications as much. So stuff like that you really have to consider when choosing the surgery. Also choose it based on what are your weaknesses. Like if one of your problems is, let's say, sweets or baked goods, or basically those high calorie, low nutrition, carbohydrate rich things, something like a lap band or a VSG isn't going to limit you as much as something as an RNY or a DS that has that dumping syndrome. So if that's your issue, then maybe those look better to you. All of the surgeries are limiting in portion size, and that's the biggest problem for most people. So again, they can all work. You just have to work them to get it done. Okay, I'm going to speed on, even though I have more to say on that topic. If you want to ask me some questions, please ask me. The other thing that I want you to know, this is number 3, is that if you have weight loss surgery, you're going to go through a period of weight loss, anywhere from 6 months to 2 years, where your diet is going to be limited. And I'm sure you know that. That 800 calorie-ish range is probably where you're going to be. But I want you to know that post-op, after when you're at maintenance, unless you're doing 2 or 3 hours of exercise a day with your new little body at that time, your diet is going to be limited to 1,200 to 1,500 calories a day. That's it. You're never going to go back to that recommended US diet of 2,400 calories a day. You're never going to go back to that diet where you can have 3,000, 4,000 calories in a day. If you do, you'll gain weight. And not only will you gain weight, if you go back to that diet after your maintenance, you're going to gain weight. And you're going to gain weight fast. With that kind of calories, you could gain back a pound a week. So a year later, you're right back to where you were. So you need to know going into it that your lifestyle is going to have to change forever. So yeah, you need to know that. You need to accept it. And yeah, it's going to be. Topic number 4. Be prepared to control your environment after surgery. Mainly what I'm talking about here is your diet. The foods that are in your household, the foods that you eat. Now that can take 2 forms. One, like if you're single, or you're the head of the household, and you're able to get your family on board with that healthier, low carbohydrate type, low calorie diet, great, get them on board. And if you do that, you can just keep all that bad food out of the house. No chips, no cookies, all that stuff going on. Obviously, they're going to be eating more portions than you. So, yeah. One way to do that is keep stuff out. The other way to do that, let's say your family isn't on board, and they're going to continue to eat all those bad things that you shouldn't be eating, and that you shouldn't even be tempted with. You need to prepare yourself in advance. And that means, if let's say your hubby is used to bringing home McDonald's or something when he gets home from work for the family, or having those 3 pizzas a week delivered in, and that's common. You need to be prepared to do your own thing. Now, it sucks to cook something just for yourself, but what you can do is you can prepare well in advance. You can make once a month. Make 1 or 2 huge meals, portion them out into, weight loss surgery sized portions, and put them in the freezer. So when everyone else is eating that bad food, you can still pull out something tasty and healthy for you. So yeah, control your environment. Be prepared to control your environment. Whether that means getting everyone in your family on board with your new lifestyle, or doing your own thing. One of those 2 things has to happen, because you can't do both. You can't be trying to lose weight and be eating chips and soda and all that stuff. It's not going to work. Yeah, maybe you still lose some weight, but you'll lose it slower, and you'll have a higher chance of getting it back because you're still doing the same habits that you were doing before surgery. So, yeah, control your environment. Okay, number 5, after my water. Number 5. Okay, this is a really important one. You have to be prepared to track and measure for success. That means you have to know exactly what you're eating. You can't eyeball it. You can't, just try and eat good food and be limited by what your stomach will hold. You have to measure and plan out your day so that you keep under your calorie limit, so that you get your protein in for the day, so that your sugars are all controlled per portion or per day, whatever it is your plan requires. Now that can mean that you're using MyFitnessPal, like a lot of us do, and I think the most successful people do use things like MyFitnessPal, either to track what they ate or to plan their entire day ahead, which is what I find myself doing most of the time. But some people don't like that. They find it makes them too obsessive about what they're eating. I find it takes too much time, although it's a bullshit excuse as far as I'm concerned. It takes like half an hour at most a day. But you don't have to go that way. Another way to track and measure is to, set up a plan for yourself where, let's say you're going to have 3 meals a day and 2 snacks a day. Okay, well, that means your meals are going to have to be 175 calories. You're going to have to get probably 20 grams of protein each. Your snacks, 100 to 150 calories. And you'll want to get 15 grams of protein. So, maybe spend 1 day a week figuring out what those are going to be. X amount of this chicken that I have in the fridge. X amount of this hamburger. My snack is going to be, 100 grams of yogurt. Whatever. You need to know those quantities and measure them out. And if you can do it in advance and have them just kind of set up in the fridge, grab and go style, that's going to work too. You won't be tracking every little thing, but you'll know that I have to have 3 of these, 2 of these on top of my water. And yeah, that's it. Number 6, and this is sort of more on the negative side of weight loss surgery, hair loss. It's going to happen. Some people it happens worse than others. But I can't think of anyone that hasn't lost a significant amount of hair from surgery. Except for maybe less of Sarah. Ask her what the heck she did. Her hair always looks really full. But yeah, hair loss is going to happen. Now, it's not going to be as extreme as with me. I had been losing hair for 20 years before I had surgery because I have that, that hair loss gene and have autoimmune disorders, and so I was losing a lot on the top of my head, particularly prior to surgery. But even since surgery, I feel like I've lost probably 60 to 75% of the volume that I had, which wasn't that much to begin with. So you have to be aware that that's going to happen, and it's going to be devastating, but you need to accept it and realize that, most of it will grow back. It might take a year, it might take longer than that, but it's going to happen. You can take biotin and all that stuff after surgery, but I don't think it's going to help. The only periods I think that's going to help is pre-op. If if you start taking your multivitamin and your biotin 6 months before surgery, your hair that you have on your head before surgery is going to be stronger and healthier. And then later on, when you have that hair loss from surgery, that extreme hair loss, the hair that you do retain is going to be stronger and healthier. That means you're going to have less normal breakage, you're going to have less normal loss, and because you've lessened that normal hair problems that everyone has every day, you're going to sort of smooth out that extreme loss that you're going to have due to surgery. So don't wait until surgery to have your vitamins. Start now. You can keep them up through surgery, through your weight loss phase, or you can start them up again when the hair starts to grow back. Whatever you want. But it's gonna lose. You're gonna lose it. It's just the way it is. It sucks. Oh, surgery time. So the hardest thing around surgery, most uncomfortable part around surgery, is having a poop. So I would say when your surgery date comes around, the 2 weeks before, the 2 weeks after, you need to be pumping in that water, and you need to be pumping in that fiber, whether it's cereals or whatever that have a lot of fiber, both the insoluble and the soluble fiber. You need both to poop properly. Start those before surgery, because that first poop post-op, it's hell. I mean, I still have nightmares about it. I was shaking, I was sweating, I had to lay down after. It was rough. That's because I didn't do the fiber thing back then, and I should have. Alright, that's number 7. Number 8. Alright. Oh, this is something that you can start right now. I don't care whether you're post-op, pre-op, you're in surgery. Stop buying fast food. Just stop it. Don't go there anymore. It's not good for you. Even the healthiest options at any fast food place is not good for you. And moreover, if you continue to go there, even if you're having those healthy options, you're not breaking the habits. You're not breaking the bad habits that you had before, where you ate fast food all the time. Same thing goes for sugar, for cakes, pastries, breads, pizza, all those things. Just stop them now. You don't have to do it all at once. You can cut out one thing at a time. But please, for long-term success, for changing your life, for changing your habits, stop with the fast food. You know, if you want to change your diet, I recommend something like the paleo type diet. That is great pre-op. I wish I had done that. And it's great for maintenance also. Alright, number 9. Loose skin. This is another negative. It's gonna happen. You know, if you have 100 pounds, 200 pounds to lose, you're gonna have loose skin. And it sucks. It sucks almost as much as being morbidly obese. So, you have to, come to terms with that. And it's not just going to be your stomach. I wish it was just my stomach. All those places that you're fat now, your thighs, your arms, your chest, your pubic area, it's all going to sag and hang and be wrinkly. If you're young, if you have the right genetics, if you're working it, maybe you'll get off better than some. But if you're like me, you're in your 40s, and you had have 200 pounds to lose, you're going to have the loose skin. The only thing that I know that you can do to minimize it is to build some muscle. You know, before surgery, you know, hit the gym, do some weightlifting, do some body weight lifting exercises. Try and build and keep as much of that muscle as you can throughout your entire pre-op, post-op, losing, maintenance, whatever phases. Because that's bulk, you know? I don't think you probably can't build up your muscles to help with your skin around your stomach, because that's where most people carry most of their weight, and you can't build a lot of muscle there. But in your thighs, in your arms, in your chest, all those places, muscle can fill up that room. So pay attention to number 1, exercise, and you'll be better off with the loose skin later. Number 10, last one. We're almost there, guys. And my God, it's going to be almost as long as the first one, but I don't care. Number 10, don't be afraid of surgery. Don't be afraid of having surgery. Don't be afraid of changing your life. Don't be afraid that your life is going to be different after surgery. It will be. It'll be better. In every possible way, it will be better. Don't worry about all the drawbacks. All the things that could happen. You know, maybe you'll have a post-op leak. Maybe you'll be one of those unlucky percentage that has a post-op leak. Maybe you'll develop an ulcer. Happens. Maybe a few months after surgery you'll develop gallstones. You'll have to have your gallbladder out. That happens pretty frequently. 10% maybe. You know. But I think if you ask anyone who has had this surgery and stuck to their plan, worked their tool, lost the weight, if you ask them 6 months, if they had every one of those negative things about surgery, they had a leak, they had an ulcer, had a gallbladder, they lost all of their hair, they have saggy skin, if they had every single one of those things, and each one was a trial and a difficult period to get through, if you ask them if they would do it again, I guarantee they'll all say yes, because everything else about yourself and your life is going to be so much better, and you're going to be so much stronger for having done those things that you can weather ulcers, leaks. Oh, you ate too much, now you're going to throw up. Big deal. You know, it sucks. But, it's better. So that's it. Those are my 10 things. I'll run them through them real quick. Number 1, exercise. Number 2, choose the right surgery for you. Not based on how much weight you have to lose, but which one is best for your habits and your medical conditions. Number 3, your diet is going to be limited forever. Not just by your sleep, but by the choices that you make. Because you'll be able to eat more later. That restriction is not always going to be there to stop you. But if you go through the whole process, control what you put in your mouth, not just how much you put in your mouth, you're going to be able to limit your diet post-op. Number 4, control your environment. Keep that bad food out of sight, out of mind. Prepare alternatives for when that's not possible. Okay, number 5, track and measure for success. Obvious. 6, hair loss happens. It'll grow back. 7, water and fiber immediately pre-op and post-op as much as you can. It'll make your life, those 2 weeks after surgery, so much easier if you do that simple thing. Number 8, stop the fast food now, stop the sugar, stop the white cake things, stop them right now, because you don't need them and they're not helping you. So kick them to the curb. You don't want to eat them ever again. What's number 9? Loose skin. It happens. Work out. Keep your muscles. You know? Start that exercise, weightlifting, or body weightlifting as early as you can. Bulk up and keep the muscle that you have. You'll have less problems with skin. Last one, 10. Don't be afraid of surgery. Best thing ever. I'm 8 months post-op. I am down 163 pounds since this time last year. Bulk of that I've lost in the past 8.5 months. That's nearly, I'm getting close. I'm getting close to being half of what I used to be. See you guys.